Hey guys, come check this out. Showing off here one of our first products, which was our switch panel, the DIN size switch panel, in particular right here, which just it looks good, but it's a useful thing. Gives a nice place to mount our voltmeters and our switches, right? So we sell these, might as well have the ability to mount them. So one of our first products was the switch panel. And it's simple. We've added options and design changes over the years, or design additions. But basically, it's very simple, where this is high density polyethylene, similar to ABS plastic. We machine this on our router, and then we get black acrylic as our standard. We offer many other colors of acrylic, and we engrave labels, paint them, and cut out the acrylic on our laser cutter. And the insert just slips right into this pocket that we machine on the router. So very simple. However, it's been years, and I've been getting the urge to make a higher end version. And we tried several times to have different higher end options. We have mirrored acrylic as an insert. Still, the design stays the same, it's just a different type of acrylic. Then we have the wooden style, where we machine the base plate out of wood, and we could still put in the acrylic insert. And this gave me the idea to use some of our transparent acrylic colors and engrave the labels on the back and kind of show them off a little bit differently, but still essentially the same type of panel. And here's one of those panels with still another acrylic finish, just with the switches and voltmeter lit up so you can see what it looks like. I want a higher end piece, but instead of using different types of acrylic or base plate material, how about make it do something additional? And what I want to do is illuminate it. Think about it. The labels, switch labels in your vehicle's dash light up, illuminate, right? Our switches illuminate. Our voltmeters illuminate. Why not make the panel itself illuminate? So I started going down that design path, and look what I got. So first, you'll notice that I have a couple pieces of acrylic here. This is our mirror acrylic, and the mirror material is actually on the back of colored acrylic. And what that gives me the ability to do is engrave with the laser, basically burn off the back material so that it's frosted from the laser, but it's transparent. Will allow light to shine through it. And I've tried to replicate that with using paint. I could also use vinyl, a blackout material, but essentially burning off the material to allow our labels to be transparent or translucent. So now I just got to work on lighting them up somehow. The base plate itself, being HDPE, is kind of shallow. This is 1/4 inch material. There's some meat there, but not a whole lot to work with. And one of the design challenges that I'm putting on myself is that the panel itself should not get any thicker, at least not any deeper, because it's a panel. It should be flat and mount on the dash or against, whatever substrate, whatever frame or console piece that you're mounting it to. So it shouldn't really stick out any further than it already does, because this has been working for us for so long. So there's a lot of different lighting techniques and lighting products that can be used. And I came across this. What this is filament LEDs. And there's actually hundreds of tiny, tiny microscopic LEDs in this flexible filament. And I thought this stuff would be really cool to play with. And you can see I have a piece here that I can just illuminate and show you how it works. So all I have to do is try and get that into a channel and to light up the labels, right? So I have a piece here that I mocked up, a prototype, if you will. And I used the standard type of DIN panel, switch panel design, where I took the acrylic, blacked out the back, and engraved the labels so that they are the only translucent piece. And I routed a channel for that filament to sit in that goes right behind the labels. Now this does work, and here, I'll light it up and show you. However, there are a few design challenges and drawbacks that makes me want to move away from this option. Number one is orientation of the filament. It's easy to roll and not have shine where you want. And so in production, in assembly, that poses a real challenge to get consistent. The other challenge is with limited space, limited depth. Although the light filament does fit, it doesn't diffuse the light enough. Not enough to give me the evenness that I want. So I do have some ideas of how to diffuse the light better and use different types of lighting techniques to get the illumination how I want. And we are going to show that. We're going to see it together. I'm going to bring you along the journey with a few of these videos, and watch our posts on Facebook and Instagram. However, during this exercise in figuring out this panel, I came across something else that I like, and I think we're going to offer this as another high-end option. And that had to do with the rear engraving. And not just the labels, but I came up with something pretty cool. All right, so I took some of our more transparent acrylic and used a photograph of my car, grayscaled it and adjusted the brightness and contrast, and flipped it so I can engrave on the back of this acrylic. And I did try it with just placing it then into a switch panel. However, it worked better as I blacked it out. And you can see the panel here with a picture of my HHR. That's from Tail of the Dragon. And once placed into the actual base plate of the switch panel, it works out really well. Now, there's a couple things with this, and I did a whole bunch of options with different colors. Instead of using a blackout vinyl, because the engraving leaves a non-flat surface on the back, instead of using the vinyl, I want to use a black spray, like a Plasti Dip or something that gives me a thick blackout coating on the back. Could use it transparent, but then you would see the machining of the switch panel behind it. So check out these options. Instead of just photographs, we can also do graphics. Like that's a Sky High Car Audio logo. There's our Spark logo in a pattern that we laid out. So we could also do like hexagons or circles or different types of actual graphic patterns. And it can be somewhat customizable. We have to limit our options, but so far messing around with this, it's come out really cool. See like orange Jeep logo there? That's pretty cool. I think the pink Ferrari came out really nice. I do like that one. Again, this is just prototypes. These are samples that I've been testing the laser with and the technique with, and we're going to get better and better. As far as the illumination, where I'm going to leave it today is I want to leave the switch panel the same size. It's based on a standard size DIN head unit. And like I said, I don't want to make it any deeper, but I want to diffuse the light better. Usually, the most common technique to diffuse light is distance. And that's hard to get with depth. So the idea is I have width and height instead of depth to play around with. So I started machining some lenses to go underneath the acrylic plate. So next video, come along and I'll show you where I'm at with this, how the testing is going with this, and how it turns out. And we'll end up eventually with a product. So this is something we're developing, not as a one-off that let me hand stitch this together to just make it work for this one piece. But I have to make it in such a way that is repeatable by our team, assembly, or even by the customer themselves, and lends itself to slight variations depending on the options that we give the customer, and doesn't take a super long time and isn't super expensive, because we want this to be a nice product available to you guys out there. So this is a frosted piece of acrylic that I am now going to mix with our other acrylic to diffuse some light, and it should turn out really nice. Stay tuned. Next time, follow us on Instagram. Facebook, we're live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern at Sparked Innovations on Facebook. Check us out there. See you guys next time.